Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. The Bachelor Season 29 lead, Grant Ellis, is a nice person, but his people-pleasing instincts have shown that he can't make decisions, which makes the show uninteresting. Grant, who started his Bachelor adventure with Jen Tran on The Bachelorette Season 21, has been a troubling lead. While Grant's introduction to the franchise portrayed him as a steady spouse for Jen, it became evident that things were not as they appeared when his time as The Bachelor began. Grant's time as the leading man has been unique in comparison to previous Bachelors. Grant has been a frustrating character to watch on The Bachelor Season 29. While I've liked the fact that he's a kind-hearted man who clearly wants to find someone special, it's clear to me that Grant has a lot of unsolved issues from his past that he shouldn't bring into a new relationship. Grant's behavior has been annoying, rather than malevolent. Rather than being able to articulate his desires in a mate and move forward with women who suit him, Grant's people-pleasing inclinations have resulted in him stringing women along and boring viewers. Although Grant's appearance on The Bachelorette did not last the full season, it was long enough to ensure that fans knew far more about him as a person than previous contestants. Grant, who was 30 years old at the time, claimed as a contender that he had previously been a professional basketball player, but was now working as a day trader. Grant, who is originally from New Jersey, had a rough background that led him to some dark places. Grant talked up about his rocky connection with his father, which began early in life. Grant's father struggled with addiction over the years, affecting his entire family, particularly his young son. While things have improved for Grant's father in recent years, allowing him to better know his son, Grant has had to cope with the challenges that have arisen as a result of his father's addiction and the ramifications that have resulted over time. Grant has had a difficult time moving forward, but he has done a lot to assure his future stability and happiness. While he's been doing his best to work through his troubles and reconnect with his family, Grant's relationship with his father has most likely driven him to exhibit people-pleasing tendencies, as shown on The Bachelor. Grant's people-pleasing tendencies have caused him to struggle with the women on The Bachelor, as hurting their feelings is not in his character. Instead, Grant strives to make people happy even when he disappoints them. Although Grant's behavior is typical of his situation, his people-pleasing has been difficult to witness on The Bachelor. Grant is aware of his emotions, yet he chooses activities that he believes would bring the least amount of suffering to others. Keeping the women in his cast happy may be a sweet gesture, but Grant's behavior is consistently uninteresting. He's not being direct with the ladies he's not interested in, which is not only dragging them along, but also preventing Grant from communicating his true emotions. The Bachelor is supposed to be definitive, but Grant has simply been boring while pleasing his cast. Grant Ellis' journey as The Bachelor began with high hopes and immense anticipation, given his previous appearance on The Bachelorette Season 21. Fans were eager to see how he would navigate the pressures of the show and find the love he claimed to seek. However, as the season unfolded, it became increasingly apparent that Grant was not the decisive, confident lead viewers had hoped for. Instead, his people-pleasing tendencies took center stage, making for an experience that many found frustrating rather than entertaining. From the beginning, Grant was portrayed as a man with a good heart, someone who truly wanted to find a meaningful connection. His time on Jen Tran's season of The Bachelorette showed glimpses of this, as he came across as reliable, compassionate, and invested in forming deep relationships. However, when placed in the lead role, Grant's inability to make decisions became glaringly obvious. His desire to keep everyone happy resulted in a season that lacked the drama, tension, and decisive action that typically define The Bachelor. Throughout the season, Grant struggled to establish clear favorites among the women, often keeping contestants around simply because he didn't want to hurt their feelings. This led to many awkward and drawn-out moments where women who clearly had no real connection with Grant continued to remain in the competition. Much to the rose ceremonies was replaced by a predictable pattern of Grant hesitating, stalling, and ultimately choosing the path of least resistance rather than following his heart. His reluctance to make tough decisions stems from deeper personal issues that have followed him since childhood. Grant's relationship with his father, who battled addiction for much of his life, left emotional scars that shaped Grant's personality. Growing up in an environment of instability, he learned to avoid conflict and prioritize the happiness of others over his own needs. While this trait made him an empathetic and considerate person, it also prevented him from being assertive, a quality crucial for a Bachelor lead. As the season progressed, his unwillingness to be direct with the women became increasingly frustrating. Contestants who had no real future with him were strung along, leading to heartbreak that could have been avoided with a more honest approach. Some of the women voiced their frustrations, recognizing that Grant was not being entirely truthful about his feelings. Others who had strong feelings for him found themselves confused by his mixed signals and inability to take a stand on important relationship matters. This lack of decisiveness not only affected his relationships with the women, but also impacted the overall pacing and engagement of the show. The Bachelor thrives on strong emotional moments, shocking eliminations, and intense romantic connections. With Grant at the helm, many of these elements were missing. Even the moments that were meant to be dramatic, such as emotional goodbyes or difficult choices, felt watered down due to his reluctance to make firm decisions. The dates, typically a highlight of the show, also suffered from Grant's indecisiveness. Instead of adventurous, exciting experiences, many of his dates felt passive and uneventful. While he enjoyed deep conversations and meaningful discussions, there was a noticeable lack of chemistry and passion. The absence of strong romantic moments further contributed to the season's lackluster feel. Viewers who were initially rooting for Grant began to lose interest, finding his season more tedious than thrilling. The Bachelor is a show that thrives on the journey of love, and while Grant had all the makings of a great lead on paper, his execution left much to be desired. Even the host and producers seemed to struggle with keeping the momentum alive, often pushing Grant to be more assertive in his choices. Grant's people-pleasing tendencies became a double-edged sword. On one hand, his kindness and compassion were admirable traits, and many contestants appreciated his gentle nature. On the other hand, these same traits made him an ineffective lead, as he continuously avoided difficult conversations and failed to provide clarity in his relationships. As the final approached, it was unclear if Grant would truly find love. The final women in his journey expressed genuine feelings for him, but there was still a lingering doubt about whether he could make a confident decision. His hesitance led to an underwhelming final, where instead of an emotional, tearful proposal, viewers were met with yet another moment of indecision. While he ultimately chose a winner, the lack of conviction in his decision left audiences questioning whether his relationship would last beyond the show. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.